At this time, rather than do any other business which the Executive Committee can take later, we're going to ask the Tea Party folks to come up and give a presentation. That's going to be Dawn Forbes and William Temple, I believe, and maybe some other folks. I will say this before you get started, and I'll take a minute or two to do that. A lot of folks don't seem to understand, or don't fully understand, what the Republican Party is. There is no one Republican Party, for those of you who don't have the benefit of that. There is a Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C. They call you, they write you incessantly if you ever give them $1. Okay? They never show up here, and your money is almost always spent elsewhere because Georgia is normally considered a safe state. They do hold a national convention every 4 years. There is a state GOP, Georgia GOP, with headquarters in Atlanta. And the executive director, Toby Carr, will be one of our guests at the Shrimp Boil. The Georgia GOP is independent of the Republican National Committee. They are elected through a convention process that begins at the county conventions with the county GOP, which, other than being certified by the state GOP as complying with their rules regarding conventions and officers, they don't have any control over what we do. Unfortunately, we don't have any control over what they do unless we have a delegate on the state committee. Do we have a delegate this year, Kathy?
Yeah, I'm one.
You're one, okay. Well, I was one before she was. The state committee governs the Georgia GOP. We have one vote out of 150 or 175. Savannah has several of those votes. There are other Republican organizations. There's a Golden Isles Republican Women's Club, the Coastal Republican Women's Club. They both belong to the Georgia Federation of Republican Women's Clubs, although they too are all kind of independent. Then you've got the teen Republicans, the college Republicans, the, heaven forbid, the log cabin Republicans, and all kinds of other Republican groups out there that kind of sort of communicate with each other and kind of sort of don't. As far as what we do here, the county GOPs, we oversee the Republican primary. We qualify the candidates. You basically come, in all likelihood, if you run in the Republican primary, you will come to my office in the last week of April to formally qualify for the office. If you run for statewide office and certain other offices, the Senate is considered statewide, for example. As Terry knows, and William, you will learn, you will also qualify in Atlanta. But all the local candidates qualify through the local Republican Party. And you have to say that you aspire to the ideals of the Republican Party for me to sign off getting you on the ballot. We also appoint 2 members to the Board of Elections, which, as you know, we do not control the Board of Elections. You may not know that. The Democratic Party controls the Board of Elections because your county commissioners, 6 of whom claim to be Republican, continually appoint Democrats to fill that spot on the board. So if you have a problem with the Board of Elections, understand we only have 2 votes, Charlie and Ken. A. Brown and Patty Gibson and Jerry Hedstrom are the Democrats on that organization. But theoretically, we oversee how they conduct Board of Elections activities. We also promote our candidates in the general elections. As I've indicated, we conduct conventions. We conduct the county convention. That leads to a district convention. There are district GOPs by congressional district. Also, independent but sort of related to the county and to the state. We do a county convention that selects the districts for the delegates for the district and state conventions. Every 4 years at the state convention, our delegates help choose the delegates for the Republican National Convention. And one of those 2,200 or so delegates usually comes from the county. The rest from this area come from Savannah, because as Gussie politely alluded to, Savannah is bigger than we are. And we are in a constant struggle for influence within the Republican Party and Republican groups with Savannah to make sure that our court gets its channel deepened and that our facilities are state-of-the-art and not just Savannah's. One of the things that we do is we jockey for position in the Republican universe, for lack of a better word. And that's one of the reasons we put so much effort on getting candidates down here for events. We've had a dinner this year. We had a lot of those candidates. We've had other events in the past. But every county in the state is competing for influence in Atlanta, both within Republican circles and political. And in addition to fighting the big battles over health insurance, tax reform, and the other things, we're also engaged in the much less exciting and much less interesting battle to make sure that the Golden Isles gets its share or more every year from the legislature and from our government. Having said all that, told you more about the Republican Party than you ever wanted to know. I will simply encourage you to come to the county conventions. They're every year but the presidential election year, so in 2 years we'll have another one. They're usually in March. They're always published in the newspaper. There is no secret to it. If you're over 18 and you're a resident of Glenn County and you say you're a Republican, that's the key word, you say you're a Republican, you can come and participate and elect officers and find someone to give me a break. Having said that, I'm going to ask Dawn to come forward and Mr. Temple and give them a minute to, well, we don't have any audiovisual, am I correct? Dawn graciously offered to bring a very sophisticated audiovisual presentation, and I explained to her that we really didn't have any audiovisual equipment for her to use. So she's been kind enough not to embarrass us. And without further ado, y'all come on up. Oh, and by the way, the flyers for the event are on your table.